Hi folks, welcome to this week's discussion on the mainstream media news headlines. Let's begin. Syria war draws in Russia, stirs World War III. While this one is a rather inflammatory headline, I think it's worth checking out. You will find two very embroiled, very embedded, very polarized views on this subject. These guys even get into a bit of a catfight, but they bring up some important issues, and I think it's worth checking out. Moving on. Analysis. Israel could swoop on S-300 missiles in Syria, but with risks. This ties right into what we just spoke about. Israel's already made it clear that they're not going to tolerate the Assad regime gaining advanced weaponry. Moving on. Pentagon gives Congress military options for Syria. So it looks as if they're also preparing for this conflict to broaden, to degenerate. Things aren't going well out there. Report. Iran seeks direct talks with U.S. More recognition that the situation has worsened. I sincerely hope that we can turn it around, that all sides see the light of day. Destroying the garden isn't in anyone's interest. I'd like to touch upon the so-called Islamic extremists, the terrorists that we're also supposed to be so afraid of. I think it's interesting that in the past they've had so many different names. In the 80s they were the Mujahideen. In the 90s they were Al-Qaeda and Taliban. They keep changing their names and their allegiances. It's also very ambiguous. But when you dig deeply into the subject, you discover that they really do have ties with most of the Secret Service agencies. I think they're all part of the same deception. These are not Islamic militants. They're professional mercenaries.